Wallace.
This is Quentin Barrett. What's up, y'all?
We just wanted to just see the last episode. Pick and Roll number 30 is available on pickandrollpodcast.com as well as SoundCloud and iTunes. We released it the other night, and obviously some major things have happened since. Major things. So let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about LaMarcus Aldridge going to the Spurs. Early speculation. Speculation is that it puts him out in front of the West. What do you think about that?
Uh, I don't really see any. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be true. I mean, there's no. I mean, there's who else can compete with a lineup like that? Like, especially in the front court featuring Duncan and Aldridge. I mean, they lose Splitter, but they're still going to find somebody else to rotate in. You get Parker back, you get Ginobili back, you have Kawhi Leonard with a fresh new lease on life, knowing he's the future of the organization. Pop's in the building, Danny Green is in the building. I really don't see another team in the West other than unless Kevin Durant comes back completely healthy and OKC is able to just recapture the magic. I don't see another team that can really keep up with the Spurs, for the long haul. Like they'll just like any Spurs team, there'll be those down points, but they'll still be around 50, 55 wins at the end of the season, ready for the playoffs and fresh. So all that experience, and if LaMarcus Aldridge is able to be coached, able to be, I'm not gonna say he has to play Tim Duncan's understudy at all, but why wouldn't you want to take a step back and try to learn under the greatest power forward of all time?
True.
And, I'm saying, get a handle on some tips and tricks that you may not know. You know what I'm saying? And LaMarcus Aldridge probably extends his career as a premier player in the NBA another 5 years just for this short period of time he's going to spend with Tim Duncan. And that's not the biggest story, but that's a huge part of the story is that he chose to go to an organization that respects talent and that's going to put him in the best place to win. They've got a track record of doing that.
Certainly. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they put both Tim Duncan and LaMarcus Aldridge at the high post to allow, Ginobili, Parker to penetrate and cut. It'll be, what one thing that maybe should happen is, Tim Duncan and LaMarcus Aldridge can kind of, switch roles. They need to play to LaMarcus Aldridge's strengths.
Yeah.
Involving his ability to hit the mid-range. He's scored more from the mid-range this year than anybody. So, seeing him play in that 12 to 17-foot range, facing up, and you put Tim Duncan on the other block down low, I think it could be very dangerous. I don't know, to be honest, it would be – I don't necessarily see them it's going to be tough for them to pop the Warriors in a 7-game series still.
You still think so?
I do think so. I think they can pop the Thunder. I think definitely they can pop the Clippers. I mean, we need to talk about DeAndre Jordan's move.
Yeah, but that was huge.
That's huge too. But I think that LaMarcus definitely puts them at the top of the West, along with the Warriors. You can't discount the defending champions at all. So let's talk about DeAndre Jordan leaving the Clippers, going to the Mavs. Currently, I don't see who's going to be running center for them. I think that they're going to have to do some work in the, in the free agent pool that's still out there. I think right now the only center they have is Ekpe Udoh.
Well, you know what? The main issue I think for Dallas right now is same thing that a lot of other teams are struggling with is they got to find an identity quickly. Something that they can hang their hat on because right now you got 3-4 teams in the West who know what they're going to do each and every night. So Dallas, being kind of middle of the road, has got to hurry up and establish that identity early in the season and go with it. And, it just maybe just die on their own sword because you have the bottom of the barrel, trying to improve. You have other teams that are kind of trying to be scrappy, and then you have the upper echelon. But the only thing that's separating the middle of the road from the upper echelon teams is when you go and face the Spurs, when you go and face the Clippers, when you go and face the Warriors, when you go and face the Thunder, you know what you're going to get every night. There's really no secret.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to prepare for what it is. I mean, when you go and play the Mavs, I mean, who's really going to, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
It's not a Dirk center team anymore. It's not, that free flowing offense that they used to have, some years ago. I'm not really sure what the Dallas Mavericks brand of basketball is any longer. So signing DeAndre Jordan doesn't necessarily change that for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I think they need to do quickly. Like you said, they need to find out what his role is going to be on that starting five. Is he just? Go ahead.
I feel like Dallas is still a little bit weak in the backcourt. I think they still have JJ Barea, Devin Harris. They could have got Stuckey, but Stuckey signed to the Pacers. I think
would have had to lock them in.
Yeah, he probably would have been in a good spot there because they got a couple guys that can spot up, Nowitzki and Parsons, and Stuckey is a great penetrator. And I'm a Stuckey fan. I'm a Stuckey fan. So,
we know that. How do you feel about them stretching them out though in Indiana?
Who, Stuckey?
Yeah.
It'll be difficult for them to run Ellis and Stuckey together. I can see it happening. I could see it being done sparingly, but I think Stuckey kind of grew into that 6-man role and he was comfortable with it. I think you start Hill and you start Ellis. That's a bit of an undersized backcourt. Well, just at the 2 spot, but you got to get Paul George back at small. Power as a whole now because they don't have David West.
Right.
And they also don't have Roy Hibbert. I think they're going to be starting, I think, Mahimi. Mahimi.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how those minutes work out. But I like the Pacers. I mean, I think they have holes, but I think that they'll be a better team. I'm interested to see how it works out in terms of them being a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit more run and gun. But you got to play with the players that you got.
Yeah.
And I think Paul George in the open court, Ellis can get unconscious.
They got one hell of a fan base. And what I see coming from Indiana is what's starting to happen is already kind of happening for them is, teams, whether it's in the East or West, are going to start poaching from the Pacers, I think. You know what I'm saying? And like Paul George may be the last to go or George Hill may be the last to go, but I think that they'll just be kind of, they're going to wail away at the East. That they know that there's really not much that they can accomplish, with the roster that they have, and there'll be other teams that will just kind of fish for their talents, the next 2 or 3 years. And I think it's an unfortunate thing because the Pacers had it like right there, so they literally had NBA supremacy right in the palm of their hands, and it just unraveled in front of them, and now they're kind of like a breeding ground for everybody else's team.
When you lose a talent like Paul George, though, I mean,
I
don't have their win total in front of me, but they still won a modest amount of games last year.
I credit that to D West. David West.
Definitely. You definitely have to give credit where credit is due. They don't have Hibbert. Hibbert is moving to the Lakers at this point. They don't necessarily know who. Hibbert is not my favorite guy, but I think that LA is trying to pick up the pieces here and there. They also signed Lou Williams today. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean, I think that they're just getting small pieces, trying to get by on one.
These are desperate moves.
Roy Hibbert scheduled to make $15 million this year, so they have the money to pay. So without getting Greg Monroe, without getting LaMarcus Aldridge and people of that ilk, I think that they're just gonna hedge their bets, take Hibbert, and then try again next year because next year is supposed to be crazier than this year was.
Yeah, and we are leading up to the lockout, and I'm still sticking to that because I'm sure you saw not too long ago the Pistons give Reggie Jackson 5 years, $80 million.
Hey, by the way, the last like 20 minutes of the podcast,
it was crazy, dog.
I just completely just ticked out.
It was so
Just
funny.
went crazy.
It was so funny, dog. I listened to it again. Like this dude was. You went to your voice went up levels I didn't think you could get to.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the money, man, is just crazy.
the money.
I still don't understand the DeMar Carroll deal. I still don't
Oh,
understand.
Chris Middleton.
I know the salary cap is going up, and it's like
I don't
rule of
get it.
thumb. Rule of thumb is like add $5 million worth of value to everything. Maybe that's just what it is at this point, but I don't
Still,
know.
man.
Um,
Reggie Jackson, which was arguably, I mean, from what most people understand to be a serviceable and a backup point guard, he starts at the Pistons not necessarily because he has starting point guard talent or respect, but because the Pistons needed somebody to come and fill that role. But to turn that around to 80 mil, I I don't see it.
no, sir.
$80 million.
That's
I
a
mean,
lot of
okay,
money
that's
for
a lot
Reggie
of money. Okay,
Jackson.
so now what? What you got a winner in Detroit? You know what I
You
mean,
know
I
what?
don't get it.
To me, it depends on three things really. What role is Brandon Jennings going to play in all of this?
Oh, man, I
Because Brandon
forgot
Jennings
about
got
that
hot.
fool.
Brandon Jennings got hot right before he got hurt. I don't know if he's going to be sticking around or whatever. Second of all, what is Ilyasova going to do? Career
Yeah,
wise, Ilyasova, is averaging right around, 10 a night, 6 boards. Um, you know,
KCP. You got okay.
what is KCP gonna do? There's a lot of guys that I think with KCP, this is a make or break year for him. Either he
Yeah,
ascends and becomes a serviceable 3-2 in this league, or he'll stay at this certain level, this certain tier that he can't break through. But as
and
we saw, once you leave the Pistons, you get paid.
he just becomes a spot up shooter. Now you know what? Becoming a spot up shooter in the NBA is not a bad career to have.
No, it's not.
You can make 20 million. You get those 30 million dollar contracts until he retires.
But
You
how
know,
serviceable is he going to be? I mean, he hasn't necessarily proven a great level of consistency either.
yeah, but I'm just that's what the Pistons are really looking at. You got a whole bunch of guys who aren't really any known commodity, on the NBA landscape. Like, okay,
Right.
it's just what I was saying about Dallas. All right, so what do these guys do? What does Reggie Jackson do? You know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
he's
Is
a
it is
penetrator.
he's a penetrator? Is he a spot up shooter? Is he a floor general? I mean, is he aggressive on defense? I mean, what can he hang his hat on at the end of the day? $80 million. $80 million.
I want to
What
say
can he?
I want to say he's a good finisher around the basket.
Okay, I'll
Um,
give you that.
I think he's a good leader. I think, to be honest with you, I think that he's a good point guard. I don't think that he's necessarily lethal from outside,
Mm.
but he'll hit an open shot. He'll get to the basket. He'll get other people involved. And when you got guys on your team like Andre Drummond, Ilyasova, a young Stanley Johnson, they're gonna need somebody to get them the ball. You know.
I agree there. Okay,
So
so over under on how many weeks it's going to take the uh, marketing department at the Detroit Pistons to implement the Bobby Shmurda song into the into the Pistons games.
he doing it just like him.
Oh, bam, bam, bam. They're gonna have to put that in. call me Bobby.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to put that in at some point, dog. He's a dead ringer, or I mean, they could be offensive and do like Blood Diamond references.
Oh God.
That's offensive, you know.
Terrible. So
That's really held away for Luol Deng. But anyway,
you're going.
So yeah, I'm sorry.
Terrible.
I'm sorry.
I'm interested to see. I mean, there's still some pieces out there. You know, I do want to see where the J.R. Smiths of the world go.
Yeah.
Not as though, I mean, it could make a bit of a difference. I mean, he's not, you know, he's not that guy to that degree, but I'm interested to see where he goes. You know, who still doesn't have a job right now, I don't think.
Right.
Bargnani still doesn't have a job.
How?
No job for Bargnani. No job for JaVale McGee.
Oh, really?
No job.
That's Flint Town.
No job at all. No job for Jeremy Lin right now.
Yeah. Well, I just saw they were trying to work out a deal for Jeremy Lin. Hey, yo, did Rondo sign?
West Coast. Who?
Did Rondo sign?
Rondo signed with the Kings.
So we got what we wanted.
They didn't take our advice. Not in the league.
They must see TV right now. That might be a League Pass team.
Yeah. DeMarcus Cousins, Rudy Gay,
and Rajon Rondo. That might be a League Pass team right there.
They did sign Bellinelli too.
Ooh, see, that, like a lineup like that, like I could gamble on that lineup, like play on the game. Like I could put some money up on that lineup.
I was looking at the Knicks. And you know the Knicks did sign Robin Lopez and Aflalo.
Yeah.
But they also got Derek Williams.
Okay.
Derek Williams was born to be a Knick.
Why do you say that?
Like number 2 or 3 pick in the draft. Never quite found his role. He was born to be a Knick.
Did he play for Arizona?
Yeah. Came out highly touted to the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a tweener to his deathbed. 6'8" power forward.
Yes. Stretch 4 is the new tweener.
Eesh.
Stretch 4 is the new tweener. Stretch 4 is also the new swing man. Remember that little catchphrase?
Yeah.
Swing man. He can play those 3 positions. Stretch 4 is the new catchphrase for these guys that don't really fit into these 2 or 3 positions.
Nah.
Everybody wants to be a stretch 4 right now.
Everybody wants to be a stretch 4. Is Draymond Green a stretch 4? Or would you play him at small?
On defense, I'd play him at small. But on offense, he can fit in stretch 4. He can. Because he can rebound with those guys.
Yeah.
He can rebound with those guys. He's going to get abused on defense, but if you ask him, he's going to get abused.
I don't know. I think he can hold his own. I think he can hold his own. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. Millsap went back to the Hawks.
Yep.
You know. I don't think Gasol has signed yet. Has Gasol signed?
Which one?
Marc Gasol.
I think he did. I think Mark re-upped.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I personally, I mean, I think the Heat are going to be good again, man.
Very good. I think they're going to be very good. They got a lot of talent.
If Chris Bosh can return to form,
yeah.
You know, Whiteside has another good year. He's still young.
Napier. Hey, look, you got So is Chris Bosh fully healthy now? I mean, like those.
As far as
okay. I mean, that's going to be interesting to watch, man. I feel bad for that cat. Is Chris Bosh a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Think so?
Yes. By association, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all,
can't do that.
No, he can't. You can. That's a Scottie Pippen discussion, but we'll come back to that.
Oh.
Right. Chris Bosh has 2 championships, and career averages like 20 and 10, almost.
Yeah.
I think it's like 20 and 9. He's a Hall of Famer. And he came into the league. Here's the thing: he came into the league with at least 3 other Hall of Famers. LeBron is a Hall of Famer. D Wade is a Hall of Famer. Carmelo is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Wait, is Carmelo a Hall of Famer?
He's got to be. He's got to be.
His career average is like freaking 26.
Yeah, but Carmelo, look, for all of my criticism of Carmelo, there may not be a more dangerous weapon on the offensive side of the floor than Carmelo Anthony could. I mean, he's literally unstoppable.
I want to see him. I really want to see him in a situation where he doesn't have to be the guy, where he's the complimentary guy, where he doesn't. I know it's unlikely.
Yeah.
But I want to see him in a position where he doesn't, where their whole play is not let's swing the ball.
Or Melo clear out.
Seconds left, and Carmelo get it out at the elbow, hold the ball up, you know what I'm saying, and do all this, and then do
post up
the J,
and then Kuznet.
Right.
I don't know if Carmelo would even put himself in that position unless he was just elderly. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Carmelo still believes he's one of the true alpha dogs of the NBA, and that's the sad part about that mindset is that he's just not. You know, he's not one of the guys that's going to drag his team to the finish line. He's just not built like that. And that's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying, because he might be more successful in terms of his career goals if he was, you know, playing off the ball or I'm not going to say second option, but second option.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, man, just about everything that Carmelo, I mean, if tonight is your night, Carmelo could put up 60.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's that kind of night, he could put up 60 and not sweat. He's that lethal on the offensive side of the ball. But he's always been a liability on defense. Yeah. And his leadership skills, it just doesn't allow him to be that kind of guy to lift the team to places where they don't belong. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they wanted from Carmelo Anthony. You know, you got to remember, they were billing LeBron and Carmelo to be like the new Bird and Magic at one time. You know, and that shit went out the door quickly.
Quickly. If the NBA was a McDonald's, Carmelo would be the dude that can make Big Macs real fast when he wants to. But, like, if they get real busy, he won't come up and work the cash. You know what I'm saying? He won't, and if they get slow, he won't take the trash out either. He'd be like, nope, I ain't doing that.
That ain't my job.
Nope. I make Big Macs.
I don't get paid for that.
I don't drop fries.
Hey. Yeah, well, y'all better call somebody in then.
Hey, man. So listen. You know what I'm saying? We'll do the podcast usually in the middle of the week.
Okay.
At some point over the weekends, we'll be able to come back and bring you just a quick highlight discussion about things that are going on, things that weren't discussed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so just follow us.
Did you check out that piece by Ta-Nehisi Coates, Letter to My Son?
No.
I need you to read that tonight.
I'm going to read it when I go upstairs.
All right. I need you to read that tonight.
I want you to check out that Free Weezy album.
I'm like through track 6 before we got on.
What's your early impressions?
Very good. I like it.
All right. Oh, I said, okay. All right.
I like it. I see what you're trying to do, Wayne. I'm with you.
He got reason. He got reason to fight. He got a reason to fight again.
Let's go, Wayne. Let's go.
So we'll come through with a full-fledged review of the Free Weezy album on the next episode of Pick and Roll Podcast. That'll be number 31. And yeah, this is just our first opportunity to just kind of come and check in, and you know what I'm saying. We'll keep it moving. Thank you for supporting us.
We'll see y'all in a few days.
Yeah, as always, I'm Rod Wallace.
I'm Quentin Barrett.
And this is
The Pick and Roll.